Yo, it's Elliott Hulse here, and during the 2015 Strength Camp Challenge, I had the good fortune to sit down and speak with some of the most entertaining, influential, and legendary kings and queens in the modern fitness era. These conversations are very informative, but relaxed and spontaneous, so I think you'll enjoy this experience. We got together a bunch of different times. We've done videos together. You were at the Strength Camp Challenge last time. We got a long history. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow the people who may have not had as much opportunity to rap with you as I have to ask a couple questions.
Cool.
You down with that?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, here's a damn good question for a bar star. What's your definition of strong?
My definition of strong, I think that's perspective, you know? Like everyone's definition is going to be different. So for me, I would look at multiple people strong. Whereas like if you could deadlift a large amount of weight, you're strong. But I think my definition is wider than what it would be for a power lifter or a bodybuilder. So I would look at someone who holds a full planche, arms straight, body straight, as strong. Like that's a strong move. Whereas I think if you ask the average person, they're gonna look at that like, nah, that's not really strength. That's like
he's not lifting a refrigerator on his back.
Or you'd be like, oh, it's flexibility. It's like, what? There's no flexibility by putting your arms out. So my thing is, it's a wide scale, man. You could pick up these, you could do some of the stuff you do and you're strong and much stronger than me in some cases. And I have this different set of skills that also determine strength in my book.
So there's, if you study textbook, there's different types of strength. Anybody know the different types of strength, right? What are they, Chris?
Straight arm strength.
Nah, man, I'm talking about relative body strength, absolute strength, maximal strength. Okay. You know, so what you're describing is relative body strength.
Yeah.
You're giving props to relative body strength, which basically means the ratio of your body weight to your strength. Right. And for somebody who weighs 200 pounds to be able to move your body the way you do, carry your body the way you do, is a high degree of relative body strength. You know, like pull-ups. How many pull-ups could most people do? Like a power lifter can't do a single pull-up. Some guys, you know, these guys that could be so huge and so strong, but they can't even do a damn pull-up. No relative body strength.
Yeah.
How many pull-ups you could do?
On a good day, I could hit 30.
30 pull-ups. That's outrageous. But not only that, you move around side to side, kick your legs out like an acrobat.
Yeah. My whole training isn't so much endurance, like to hit the most pull-ups. So I get that here and there, but more I focus on different skill sets.
Right.
So my workout would look like it's like practice. Like practice mixed with exercise. So you wouldn't look at it as just like, yo, I'm gonna hit this many reps and this many sets. It's more like, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna try this, and then eventually it goes into, I'm gonna do this many reps, this many sets.
So what you do is a lot more like training the nervous system than training the muscle.
Yeah.
Because you're training forms.
And movement patterns.
You're not training angles or muscles, you're training forms.
Yeah, perfect description.
Yeah, and that's the nervous system. Like yoga is forms. How long can you hold a particular position? Can you get into this particular position, hold it, and breathe? That's another thing. Like when we lift, like power lifters, strongman, bro. My entire lifting career was this. Right? Valsalva maneuver, creating intra-abdominal pressure. A lot of the stuff I know you do, and now that I use a lot of yoga now, is like, nah, bro, you gotta breathe while you're doing this shit.
It's a consistent breath.
You need to have an inhalation and an exhalation. So you're training, has a whole other physiological associations, and it points to a whole lot of other things that you're doing to improve your health, because you're breathing healthily. That movement I just showed you leads to aortic hypertrophy, I think they call it. You know, left ventricle. Is that right? Left ventricle hypertrophy. A lot of lifters, bodybuilders, they get that enlargement of the heart.
Yeah.
Because of all the tension we create. You guys are breathing free, swinging your bodies up there.
Yeah, you gotta have a consistent pattern of breathing. We have like the static moves, and people that's new, they make the mistake of like trying to hold the breath for the whole time. But like that's the fastest way to give out, because once you have trouble with your breath, your legs are gonna come down, or you're gonna give up the position. Whereas if you find your constant breath similar to jogging, you can catch that constant pace of tension.
Dope. So it does. It's a healthy practice. It's fun.
You know, like you go to the park, you're just vibing. Like it's good for
Yeah.
your health. You're having fun. You're happy, and you can just hang out and work out. But
Especially when you have a crew.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so much more fun.
Right. So then there's the community aspect.
Yeah, the family aspect.
Right. Fellowship.
Yeah.
You have people
We're
to
all
share it
together.
with.
And it's like that encouragement. Like someone goes up there, he does something crazy, and you're just like, everyone's like, ah! It's like, all right, I gotta get that vibe.
Yeah, motivation.
You know what? So when you say that, I think a significant part of what you do is bringing that vibe to different places in the world, because you're always traveling, right?
Yeah.
To go vibe with other bar stars.
Yeah.
So what you're essentially doing, you're the starter of a movement, if I could say. You're the creator of a worldwide movement where you go and you vibe with people all over the globe. Where's the craziest place you've been and you were vibing with people?
I think Malaysia.
Yeah, Malaysia's great.
That's why they knew you from the internet.
They knew us, like, out of all the places I've been, like, we always had big crowds, but I feel like Malaysia was, like, intense. Like, it was like, I remember we cut off a street, like, filming a video for Chris's Instagram. Like, he's like, I want to get this on Instagram, and it was, like,
You were celebrities,
maybe 50
huh?
to 100 people just,
In the street,
and they're all doing, like,
working out.
push-ups,
Yeah,
and they're
it's
doing, like,
insane.
stuff they see in our videos. And it was like, yeah, Barstarzz in Malaysia. You had them chanting. Yeah, it was crazy.
Bro, we live in a different kind of world today.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. My parents couldn't have imagined. Could your mom would have ever imagined? Oh yeah,
No,
my
no
son,
way.
he's gonna go and he's gonna teach kids in Malaysia how to do exercise.
My mom's
and
old
they're gonna be
school.
vibing in the street.
My mom's old school, so at first she was like, because I was young when I started, 20.
Yeah.
I think around 20. So it was like, yo, get a job, you know, like, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
And I'm here like, nah, I'm doing this online thing. I was like, nah, that's not a real thing. My parents were like in their 60s, you know, so I was like
Right.
with that real old school mentality that if you didn't go this route, then
Mm-hmm.
you're just like, you're fucking up.
Now every single one of us here were courageous enough to do some shit nobody knew the fuck was gonna happen,
True.
right?
Yeah.
None of us could say, oh, I planned it this way. I knew this is exactly what's gonna happen, right? Hell no, you had a vibe in your heart and you shared it with the world because the internet made it available. Shit, I didn't have an email address till like my senior year of college. Yeah, nobody was using emails that much. I had a university one. I looked at it one time because I think they told me my graduation thing was in there. And I was like, oh, I gotta go click a button somewhere. What's my password?
I remember there was like dial-up, and like if you knew the internet,
Yep.
you were like the smartest kid in the neighborhood.
Yep.
It was like the internet. I remember going to school with like Napster songs, and the guys were like, yo, how you get that?
Let me
Oh,
tell
I
you something about
remember
Napster, dog. I become enlightened because of Napster. What I mean by that is like I discovered Alan Watts audios. This is before YouTube. This is before like all the audio streaming that we have right now. This was Napster. Somebody had Alan Watts audio recordings on their server, and it ended up on my computer. And he introduced me to all the wisdom of the
That's
East.
amazing.
So that was your first mentor, basically.
In many ways. I mean, because he was an Englishman, and he was so witty and entertaining, but it was like from the 60s or 70s, and he's talking about Buddhism and Taoism and Hinduism. I'm like, I never heard these ideas before. This is the wildest shit ever, and just woke me up to a entirely new way of thinking.
So the internet gives you all these possibilities
Mm-hmm.
of seeing everything.
Now it does though,
Yeah, now.
but just I think about the blessing that like, yo, there was Napster, like they got shut down because it was illegal.
Yeah.
But yo, what a blessing that there was a little fucking hack on the internet that I wouldn't be Elliott Hulse for whatever that's worth to you if it wasn't for that little hack. Now we got YouTube, we got everything that we use is with regard to social media, so that you show up in fucking Malaysia and you vibing with
Yeah.
kids in the street. It's a wild world we just stumbled upon, man.
And it works both ways. Like I would see something from somewhere else, and it's like, if I didn't have the internet, there's no way the TV would have showed you this.
Nah.
That's true.
Because they have a very scheduled programming that doesn't defer, doesn't take risks.
Mm-hmm.
And the internet, you know, people being their self-broadcaster, they give out what they want to give out.
Yeah.
Completely unmonitored or unfiltered.
You know what? A lot of people are upset because it creates a lot of ambiguity. You know, you could have a case for anything. If you got a heartbeat, you can make a case for anything. And the internet allows everyone to have a fucking opinion.
Yeah.
So what happens is there's a lack of certainty. There's so much uncertainty in our world because there's so much information. We're being bombarded with it. I think a part of what we need to do is embrace the uncertainty and embrace the not knowing. It's almost like we think we know more because we've access to more information, but we know less because there's so much fucking information. So we just got to embrace not knowing and just be interested, fascinated
Sure.
with all the ideas that are out there. That's a detached way to take in the blessing of the internet without allowing it to make you crazy. Because the internet can make you fucking crazy too. A lot of us are addicted to different sites that make us feel a certain way, either angry or allow us to release our sexual tension. You know what I'm saying? So the internet just gives us all kinds of fucking vibes. You know, jizzing and screaming. So I used to be addicted to what's that guy? What was it? The Alex Jones.
Oh wow, that's funny.
I used to be addicted
That's hilarious.
to this guy's anger.
We have like an inside joke.
And I let him vibe me for a while. That's why a lot of my videos were angry.
Been watching too much anime, bro.
Oh man, yeah, I had to stop watching. If the shit is true or not, I can't handle all that fucking
It's
anger
true
in
or
my
not.
life. That's a bad vibe for me.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
We used to joke because Chris is kind of like into that scene, but not Alex Jones.
Mhm.
But
Oh, that's why he's laughing so hard.
Alex
I'm
Jones,
not into
he's more like casual. But Alex Jones is like the
I just said,
extreme.
have you heard about this?
So if he says something, I'd be like, that's some
Dude,
Alex
you know
Jones
what I've
kind
come
of
to
thing.
realize about politics in the world? Unless you are a banker, a warlord, or like a arms dealer, or in the secret society, you don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I can't have an opinion about anything. I used to hate Obama. Now he's in trouble because he's letting Syrians in. But at the same time, he's got a peaceful, loving message for love. I'm so mind-fucked that I'm like, none of us know shit. Every soundbite, every angry person, every political figure that has something to say is just mind-fucking me. So I just say, I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is love will win. However love is going to win, I don't fucking know.
You don't know what's
And I
going
just
on.
leave it alone. I can't have an opinion. We got an election coming up. Of course, we're ranting because that's what I do. Sorry.
I'm into the debates. I like watching them.
Yeah, me
Right.
too.
Yo, there's a lot to be said for the lack of the interesting host of characters we have that will ultimately be the leaders of the new
Can I
free
ask
world.
who you're gonna vote for?
That's personal.
I don't know.
Don't know. have
I
no
don't
idea.
know. I have an allegiance to the idea that democracy should work.
I feel for a while it's just been corrupted with money.
Right. So
That's like, yo.
how do I disregard my allegiance to the idea, to the ideology of what America could stand for? I can't say it ever did, but it's an interesting idea without voting. But at the same time, my vote, I don't know. Where does it go? What does it mean?
That's true.
Because you vote for a person because they're pro-homosexuality or they're pro-choice. You vote on that, but you know what you're also voting on? All their fucking policies. And
I
all
have
their
no idea
policies
about.
are
Yeah,
dictated by
for
who's
sure.
funding them. So it's like, I don't
That's
know.
why you need to get money out of politics, of course. That's the whole situation.
Right.
But I think this election is, well, I don't know. I don't want to come
Right.
off as an expert.
Yeah.
But I think there's some candidates claiming to have no corporation funding.
Right, Bernie Sanders.
Sanders is
And
one,
Donald Trump on the other side.
is in the other.
So
Those are the
both
two
camps.
most fascinating people in the election right now.
During the Democratic debate, Bernie Sanders challenges Hillary. Like, you got $2 million from the banks. It's like, how could we expect you not to,
Do what's in their favor.
Yeah, it's like there's no way that would have happened. Like if I gave you $2 million for like a
expect
speaking
something in
fee,
return, right?
it's like, yo, Elliot, come on, like you're about to vote for something. I think anyone in the world is gonna lie if they say that's not the case,
Right.
or at least brings up reasonable doubt.
You know what? One thing is for sure, that the world and the American people are aware that there are those who are bought by special interests, and that there are those who, at least, are claiming to be independent. So we got Trump on one end, who's causing a stir, and Bernie Sanders on the other end, causing a stir. That's the two ends of the polarity. What humankind, what we really want is a sense of dignity and freedom, and those people kind of
And
represent
honesty.
that. Right? They represent that. What will the American people do? I don't know. But we're gonna keep rolling,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right? So that's interesting. We got into that conversation.
and I feel like we're more enlightened because of YouTube. Like this is
because
why.
we
Right.
have that
Like
media.
beforehand, you just seen what the media
the
made you
commercials
see.
show you, exactly.
And the media
Of
will
course, it's all
dump,
propaganda.
and they'll demolish those two candidates right there. They'll demolish Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders if you see them on the news.
Right.
But because of YouTube and we have this open information now,
We have online news. We
You
don't
can
have the
kinda
news
see
that
a different
only news we're
version.
supposed to see on TV.
Yep. Sensationalism. They
Yeah.
could touch us.
Right.
They could get our feelings.
But if there's
And really,
people
that's
like
what they're
you-
manipulating us on, is feelings. There is very little actual content. It's all feelings, emotions.
Yeah.
You know, they figured that out when Nixon and JFK were debating, and they televised it for the first time.
And he was sweating
By
and
all
stuff.
information purposes only, he would have won. Like if they didn't see how pretty and sensational his opponent was.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember
I love
reading about
Obama
that.
because he's so damn sensational. I don't appreciate most of his policies. I didn't like him when he was coming in, but I watched the way the man speaks and carries himself, and it's interesting to see the way his energy, I won't say manipulates, but like how people receive him.
Yeah.
That's all. And what he represents, what he stands for. It's energy.
He's confident when he talks.
Yeah, you got to
Like
be
even when you
damn
see when
sure.
he's challenged and he wasn't expecting it,
He'll deliver.
fast response,
Yup.
fast. And it's a response that like sways you.
Confidence, dude. Confidence is everything. Even George Bush, who would stumble over
Yeah,
half the shit he
yeah,
said,
yeah.
he said it with his fucking foot down. He was a cowboy, and people appreciated that cowboy confidence.
There's a documentary on like body language.
Yeah.
You see that George Bush is all over it. Like he was just like you see a thing where he's pushing like Tony Blair through the door. He's like, yeah, come on. Let's wrap it up. And like he was like really good at that, if he made a conscious effort or not.
So that was the definition of strong. We ended up talking about politics.
Elections.
Hey, who knows where the energy will take us, right? You know what? Here's a good one. How do I find what I'm passionate about?
Chris shared me a video one time, and this was recent, so this doesn't apply to me, but I think it's great advice for people. It's like 3 questions you have to ask yourself. What would you do if you never? What would you do if you didn't have to worry about money? Like, what would you do day in and day out? What would you like to give back to the world? And I forgot the 3rd one. But it was that. Like, it's kind of like, what would you do if you had no money for it?
Like this stuff.
So
No
for me,
limits.
yeah. Like for me, Alan Watts actually did a video on it. So for me, it was like, you know, like for me, it was working out. Like, this is what I like to do. Well, very specifically, this style of working out is what I like to do. It's my passion, you know? Whether you paid me or not, this is what I would be doing in my free time. So I think that's you have to ask yourself those questions, you know, like what would I do if I was like just had no burden on me, and I could just do freely what I want with 24 hours. And for me, that when I looked inside, that was calisthenics and Game of Thrones. Those 2.
It's interesting because what you're saying basically is if we had no limits, and limits is a conversation, you know, because I don't know about you, but I didn't start out with money to do anything with. I'd like some, I wanted some, I could see how it would create more opportunities for me, for my family, put me in a place where I could keep doing the work I love most, what I'm passionate about, help more people, grow stronger, and keep inspiring.
Yeah.
So it's a powerful thing to blend your passion with the confidence and the faith that you will be taken care of monetarily. I didn't have a plan. You didn't have a plan. We just spoke about that. We were just fucking around with some shit that we love, and the universe carved it out for us.
I feel like sometimes you kind of get distracted from the plan. You know, I mean, like the definition of an entrepreneur is you jump out of a plane and you build your parachute on the way down. There's a lot of things that happen along the way that just spark, you know, something that creates a brand new door to your journey or to your business, you know. There's a lot of things that happen in my business that I didn't expect to happen the first time when I was first planning it, you know, when I was first planning on opening a gym, but other ways of making money or expanding, you know, just started happening along the way, and I started forming that defining what it was that I was actually doing, what the product actually was, what my passion actually was, and you know what the goal actually was. All that happened along the way.
And
I feel
what you're doing, you're manifesting. You're taking like
right.
air and turning it in, or ether and turning it into reality. You know,
Right.
you're manifesting. You're
Right.
taking ideas and turning it into
Right, so
concrete.
that's why I feel like what you were saying before, it's like I want to follow an emotion versus I want to follow like a game plan. You know? Because I
Right.
know at the end, I want to feel happy, I want to feel successful, and I want to feel content with everything that I did.
And let me ask you both a question, because I know my answer to this. If you couldn't earn enough to live a somewhat luxurious lifestyle, and when I say luxurious, we all live luxurious lifestyles in our culture. We got on new sneakers. That's all that needs to be said. If it wasn't so easy for us to buy some new sneakers, would you continue doing what you were doing?
100%.
For me, yeah.
It hasn't been easy
fucking
for
right.
me to buy sneakers.
I'm
at the
addicted.
beginning.
Like even if I wanted to, I'd just like fuck. I guess I have to make it work. I guess
Right.
I guess my lifestyle goes down a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, yo, I don't think the idea, the fear is to get to an old age and then look back and have regrets.
Yep.
Like, not pursue stuff that you were passionate about. Like, if you had a musical talent and you like didn't see how far it could have went, or if you're really like drawing and you're like, yo, I want to draw more, but you didn't pursue it. And it's like, you sit back and you just kind of go, shit, my whole life just kind of went by me, you know? Like, and you just did something because you're forced to.
It's great that you mentioned dying, because that's a dying paradigm. That's the mechanical paradigm. We got that out of the Industrial Revolution. But we're in the energy paradigm right now. When I say that, I sound like a fucking hippie, but I'm talking about how we share our energy with the world through videos and then even traveling around. Today, it's not so much about what you do, but who you're being in the world. We can live our archetype now because the world can see us. If your grandfather had a talent for playing the banjo or whatever, guitar, yo, he had to do something mechanical if he's gonna put food in his fucking mouth, because ain't nobody gonna listen to that while he's on the porch. You know what I'm saying? Or drawing, or just some fascination in something weird somewhere.
It happened back then though, but it was a lot harder. Like,
It was a lot harder because you needed the studios.
Yeah.
Somebody to hear you, right?
True.
Like, it's funny. My daughter just did she was reading a book on a biography on Elvis Presley, and basically the book is his biography, and it says, yeah, he basically stole black music. You know, there was Little Richie, and you know there were black artists that like nurtured his talent, but because who gets access to the airways? Who gets access? So he rose to the top, bringing black music through a white front because of access to the energy, the ideas.
But now everyone
No longer is the case. You can have all those fucking tattoos on your mouth if you want, motherfucker.
That's true.
And somebody's gonna love you.
Exactly.
I remember growing up, it was like, yo, you got a tattoo. My brother had a tattoo like up here, and he's like concerned about getting a job.
Right.
And he's like, yo, you can't even see you with a t-shirt.
That's why
Chris got his tattoo almost coming to his jaw.
And that's why I did it too, because I didn't want just a normal job. You know?
Right.
I
You're
wanted
scarring yourself.
Yeah, I wanted to just be like, look, I'm either gonna make it or nobody's gonna hire me. You know what I'm saying? I have like all this, you know, like they're not even gonna hire me from McDonald's. You know.
Yep.
So it's I either make it or I just fail. You know? So I made it like it wasn't an option. You know? I just had to do it.
With an attitude. Guys, I appreciate you. This was good.
Thank you, Elliot.
Pleasure always.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
For sure. It was a pleasure.
Yep.
Oh man.